Hi there, it's Stu from Project Marlin. Welcome back. This weekend, at least, or this week, has been full of highs and lows. So hopefully the video will convey that quite. One thing I hadn't realised until this week, really, is I've watched videos of other people and how excited they get over small things. This week I'm excited about quite a small thing, so this project's already showing me quite how small achievements can be actually quite major, or at least feel like it. We'll see you after the video. So I did film this actually at the time I did it, but quite cleverly I didn't actually turn the microphone on, so that's been a bit of a cock up really. I bought some fiberglass filler from Halfords with the intention of fixing a crack that's here under this tape, and I've actually got another crack there under that tape. There's a lot of water getting in the cab, so I was going to fiberglass filler it on the outside for now, and then when we've got better weather have a look at getting the headliner down in the cab. So I think I'm going to have to peel all the fabric off to get it down, and buy some more fabric to cover it. So I want to do it from the inside really, but temporarily I was going to slap a bit on the outside and worry about sanding it at a later date. Unfortunately the fiberglass filler had no hardener with it. Somebody had already had that out of the tub. That was a little bit annoying, so I couldn't do that. So I decided to have a look how bad the cab was. And I just tried to get down here without killing myself. There you go. That's quite bad there. I knew it wasn't great, but I knew this wasn't too good. It's worse than I thought. Under this piece of matting here, it's pretty bad. There's big chunks gone. Turns out that under this matting down here, that's gone. Taking this panel out, that's pretty manky. Panel in the back of the cab here, I've taken the bolts out. I can't move it. It seems to be seized in. I know there's some more rust under here and under the door over there. Although I've discovered that door's locked and I don't have a key for it. So I'm going to have to break the lock on it to be able to undo it. And I haven't got a lock for the other door, so I need to find what locks they are, so I can replace both of them and we can have a key. Down there at the side of that seat there's more rust. If you pull the matting up, there's holes. There's holes all down the side where that gap is. I'm assuming along there will be more holes. Behind this seat there's holes on the piece. I'm starting to think now we're going to have to take the whole that's a good pun. Take the whole matting, lot of matting up, and take the entire inside of the cab, clear the seats out of it, potentially take the dashboard out of it, and rebuild the whole lot. There's probably some solid bits in there. If we can keep solid bits, I mean this piece I can cut out and just replace. That piece I could, it's not great, replace that, or I don't know whether, some of it's quite solid, it might wire brush up and it might just want little patches welded in. Because it's all flat sheets and bits of box sections supporting things, I do wonder if I might be better off just buying a couple of acres of steel plate and replacing the lot. The only problem is this matting, that rubberised matting, is glued, and where it's not rusty, it's actually stuck really well, and it tears when you try and get it off. So I'm going to end up destroying the matting, so I've got to look at replacing that. This stuff does seem to come out alright, but I'm putting new matting in. If we could get new trim to go on it, that would be great. Or the other option is I don't put matting in, I do the repairs, I primer it and I put some sort of decent paint coating on. Do I just paint it grey, paint it black? Do I put an aluminium checker plate floor in rather than mild steel, and actually bolt it into the thing so I can access things easier? It's a lot of things I've got to try and think and decide about. Checker plate might be quite a good idea, and aluminium is less likely to corrode, and there's a lot of aluminium in the cab. On the frame steel, but the skin and everything is alloy. So it's another thing I've got to have a good hard think about and a look at. But it's been a bit of a doom and gloom day for me. It's quite cold. I'm just in the process of packing up. I thought I'd just film the bits that I'd cocked up and not filmed earlier, or I had filmed but without the microphone turned on, so you can't hear my wonderful commentary. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Well, I've achieved very little today other than depress myself about the whole thing. I've managed to stick some tape on a crack on the roof. I've managed to find more rust in the cab than I hoped. Every time I look at part of the cab I find more rust, more holes. I found another leaking air valve, which is alright. It's awkward to get to, but it's the same valve as, or same type of valve as last time. Should be easy to fix if I can get to it. What else? I've tried taking the panel off here to have a look at the cab. The panel in the back of the cab to have a look at the fire pump, see what model it is, because I'm quite curious. I've taken the bolts out. I've tried prying bars from both sides. I can't get this panel to move more than about a quarter of an inch. It's probably rusted in, so that's more rust in the cab. And it's been one of those days really. I was quite excited to come and do something today, and felt like I was going to make some progress, if it was little bits of progress. And today has been one of those days where you feel you take a couple of steps backwards. They won't all be like that, I know that. It just looks like rather than a bit of a hill to climb, it looks like a rather large mountain at the moment. The weather doesn't help. It's wet a lot of the time. It's going quite cold today, although I've been busy so I've kept warm. And it's just par for the course, I suppose. I've decided I'm going to bring a sheet over tomorrow, and I'm going to sheet the cab up to try and keep water out of it. And I'm going to try and get hold of a load of those desiccant bags to throw in here. I'll keep taking them home and drying them out and bringing them back to try and get this cab as dry as we can get it. Because at least if it's dry, it shouldn't be rusting anymore. The other thing I found is I found one of the gearbox mounts is cracked. It's not a major problem. I've just bought an arc welder to do bits and pieces on this thing with, and it's just cracked through part of the weld. It's not completely broken, but I should be able to get in there with the grinder, clean it up and just run another bead of weld around it. Hopefully we won't have to try and drop it, because it's like a complete cross member, and I don't have the gear at the moment to be able to support the gearbox, because it's absolutely massive and it's quite high off the ground. But we'll see how it goes. In a way, I'm quite keen. I want to get this to a vintage rally in May. It's currently the 30th or the 31st today. I think it's the 30th of November. Yeah, it would be the 30th of November. So December, January, February, March, April. So we've got 4.5 months. I can't count. We've got 5.5 months. December, January, February, March. Yeah, 5 months. 5.5 months. So it's not impossible. I do need to get all the brakes working. That's quite important to be able to take it on the road. I need to get the tyres sorted. That's very important to take it on the road, because 4 tyres are, quite frankly, borderline. but hopefully we've got a source for some part warns that will be better, much better than what we've got. So brakes, tyres, lights and the cab floor, and although it will be ugly and tatty, won't be nice and shiny, it will be in a suitable condition to take on the road, and we can take it to a rally. So that's what I really would like to do. I'm just looking at the floor in here. I'm going to have to pull all the matting up. I'm probably going to destroy the matting in the process, and it's possible the entire dash is going to have to come out. That might not be a bad thing, because the bottom of the windscreen, there's a lot of rust there. It's not really, I don't think it's seated in properly anymore. I want to try and avoid doing much near the windscreen if I can help it, because I don't know how I'd get a new one if it broke. I need to get in touch with Pilkington, because they made the original, and see if a replacement is possible and get a rough cost of how much, because I think it will be thousands to replace that windscreen. A friend of mine did offer to try and give me a hand taking it out, but I'm terrified of breaking it at the moment. So we'll just have to see how it goes. It's been a bad day today. I'm planning on coming and doing some more tomorrow. I might, if I can, drag the generator out of the garage, fill that up with fuel, bring it out, and bring out the mains powered grinder. If I can find a wire brush for it, I'll put a wire brush on. I'll start wire brushing some of the, or getting the mat up and wire brushing some of the cab floor, because if your feet are going to go through the floor and it's that rotten, it doesn't matter if the brakes are working and the lights are working. It's not going to be in a condition where I would want to take it anywhere. So we'll have to have a look. Anyway, I shall keep you all updated. I won't do a video with this just yet. I'll wait until there's some some happier progress to go along with it. But I'm going to try once more to get this panel off. If it doesn't come out, I'm going to put the bolts back in and go home and call it a night for tonight. And hopefully come back tomorrow. If I don't come back tomorrow, I can't do anything next week, as I'm actually on a HGV training course, and I can't do anything the weekend after because I'm busy. But week after next, hopefully I'll be able to come and spend a day or two over here, depending on the weather. So getting a bit done tomorrow would be quite good. It'd be nice to end on a positive, but we'll see how it goes. Right then, it's the 1st of December. It's the second go at recording this. I'm really not very good at this sort of thing. Got a couple of air valves to have a look at. I had doom and gloom yesterday, but I've sat down, written a list of everything I know that needs doing so far, which is quite small writing for me, and it's coming on to 3 pages. Not all of it's essential straight away, not all of it is stopping it from going to shows, but the most important thing is get the brakes done, get the road lights working, and what we need for the road, and get the cab floor done. So we can get those done by May, great. We've got a quick release valve, which is down behind this wheel inside the chassis. That's leaking, or was leaking yesterday, so I'm going to try and get that off. Might be a bit awkward, it's awkward to get to, but I'll try and get it off. When I do, I will get it somewhere when I take it apart, so I'll show you a video of what's inside, because I didn't do that last time. Hopefully we'll get it back on. That will have cured that air leak, and we'll have a look to see if it's made any difference with pumping the pressures up in the tank. If it hasn't, I'm going to trace the pipe back from the secondary air tank. I think I know which valve it goes to, but I need to make sure. If it is that valve, or once we find the valve it goes to, I'll pull that off, pull that apart, and again, I'll when I've got it off and apart, we'll have a look what's inside. Hopefully, I'm hoping by the end of today, bearing in mind it's 11:30 already, we might have working air system, or at least working as far as the brakes are concerned. Right, really quick video. I don't know if you can see that pipe's off there. That valve is, I'm in the weather light now, is that one there. So from down here I've got to come, that's the back of an axle, and there's a prop shaft, suspension in the middle of the two axles, and it's up there. It's a bit of a bugger to get to, but I've nearly got it off. I'm just going to do the last pipe and we'll get it out and have a look at it. Right then, so we've got the valve off. This is the bottom outlet. So the way these work, get it in shot, that help. Air goes in here, goes through and acts like a T-piece. And the pressure goes down, in this case, down this line and this line, off to, I'm not sure where, off to a few different tanks. Now, when you release pressure off this line, if you've got a very long hose or very long lines, it takes quite a while for the air to evacuate out of this line and this line all the way back through, and back through the valve that's releasing the air. So what these are for is, in here there's a diaphragm, and when the air is released off here, the air in these lines push the diaphragm up and then it vents out through the bottom. Now what I think's wrong with this one, and we'll find out in a second, is I think there's debris from where it's been sat. There's quite a lot of particles of rust in places, and bits of dirt and rust have got in, and I think that's probably just holding that diaphragm up a little bit. Hopefully it'll come apart easy like the last one did, and we'll have a quick look. I should try and keep out the way of the camera. That's going to take a bit more than I thought, so we'll come back to that in a second. Right then, taking it apart. Whoops, not taking all the screws out. So if I just hold that there and focus it in a bit better. I don't know if you can see. It's a bit manky, and there's a couple of little bits of debris. So that's the top housing with the inlet. Here's the rubber diaphragm. We'll just hook out. Yeah, there's not too bad. Not really much dirt in there, but I will give it a clean up. I'll put it back together and put it on the truck, and we'll see how that goes. See what happens. But it is very simple. The air coming in here pushes that diaphragm hard against this piece, and the air seeps around the edges here because it doesn't fit right. So it seals in the middle. The it goes around the edges and out through these. When you release the pressure from the top here, this pops back up slightly into the concave surface of the top housing. So it comes up, and then the air from these two galleries and this bottom gallery just vents out straight out to atmosphere. I have seen them before. Usually they've got a silencer on more modern equipment. On this one, I suppose I could pipe it away, or I could fit silencers if there was space, but there's not really any need for a piece of equipment like this. So I'll put it together and I'll let you know how we get on. As usual, I've gone off a bit on a tangent, and I'll stand back a little bit. We've got the engine bay not all the way open. On my own, that was about as far as I can get it. Must have taken best part of an hour to work one side and then the other to get it as far open. But it does mean I can get in and have a bit of a better look at the engine. I've also been able to take the air filters out and have a look. So I've been able to write down the numbers for some of the filters I need. There's a couple I need to take canisters out. But we'll have a look around the engine like I promised the other day. Quite simply, we've got the primary and secondary fuel filter there. See the front half of the engine and second half of the bank on this side. We can see there we've got some hydraulic filters, and round the corner, if I can, there's another filter in the back up there. There's a load of hydraulic stuff up here. That I believe is for the monitor. I'm not sure. That's what I think it is. Down in there we have a hydraulic pump. is on the back of the PTO unit. So that'll explain why the monitor doesn't work if the PTO is turned off, or the PTO panel is turned off. I think it's all linked into that. Look down over the front of the engine. Yeah, again we've got a big radiator. See all the it's actually got a top hose from both sides of the engine, which I didn't really expect, but it does make sense. I've taken out the air filters to get the numbers off them, and I said that one of the filter housings was, this one's not good, but I said the other one was quite bad. I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see in there, the bottom is gone, and up around the top's gone, up around the side is gone. There's quite a few holes in that, so I was right, that's definitely going to have to be replaced. Now if I just climb right up, excuse me one moment, shake you all over the place. Down there we have, under my nice rotten air filter, we've got the alternator. In front of that is the, sort of up here a bit, you can't quite see it, it's the air compressor. Down there is also, I don't know if this is going to, just about, down there is another oil pump. I think that's for the power steering. It makes sense, well, it makes sense if it was, because it's connected to this ZF pot here, and they're frequently power steering pots. I think I showed you these the other day, the air filter resets. I've noticed they're actually broken, the pipes to them, so they won't work. Got some more engine bay lights. I think that piece there, which I showed you the other day, is where the switch would have gone. If we come over this side, oh dear. Again, we've got a lot of engine. This hydraulic tank here is the one that appears to be connected to the pump on the other side. There is a filter on the bottom of it that I can, I've just got the part number off of, so I can get a replacement element for that. Climb down a bit. So, yeah, hang off the side slightly. So, where is it? Ow! Yeah, it's up under there, the hydraulic filter. Obviously we've got the other side of the engine, starter motor. You see the battery's a bit better, and these are the engine oil filters back there. The auxiliary air compressor. It's a bit more of a linkage. So yeah, it's quite useful. I've also discovered, in case I have any problems, there's actually a circuit breaker on this panel. So it's quite good to know that. But yeah, it's starting to get a bit dark and murky now. So I'm going to call that a day. I'm going to put the air filters back in and see if I can get this engine covered up again, or at least part of the way. And hopefully we'll see what another day brings. I won't be out for a week, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, I've got other things to do. There you can see my lovely mug. I'm actually doing my HGV training and hopefully my test next week, and then we're busy at the weekend as well, so other than maybe being able to get out and drain the coolant and refill it Saturday morning, which I probably won't video because it won't be very exciting, if any of this is, but yeah, it won't be until a week tomorrow probably before I can come back out and do some more. Hopefully I need a bit of patience, and I need to be in the right mood. I need to start tracing the airlines for the handbrake. So I'm not 100% sure they're all connected. I think there might be one removed and blanked off, which might be part of my problem. And I also still need to find where the air's fed from for the handbrake tank, because the air doesn't come from where I thought it did. I've got no idea where it's coming from, so I really do need to climb around. I didn't fancy climbing around under here with the engine running earlier. I didn't want to shut it off straight away because this morning, because it had been very, very cold in the night, it was a little bit of a bugger to start, and I was a bit concerned that if I shut it off too quick, the batteries wouldn't recover, be charged enough. But we'll leave it there, and if I have time I'll put this video out this week. If not, it'll go out when it goes out, I suppose. and hopefully next time I'm out we'll make a bit more progress. I actually feel like I made progress today. It might not look like it to you, but rather than being all doom and gloom like yesterday, I'm quite pleased. So we'll see you soon. Just a very quick addendum to to the video. I've actually managed, with a bit of brute force and ignorance, not that I can say the word very well, managed to get, for the first time, the engine canopy all the way closed. So the exhaust are now sticking out how they should do, which looks really cool. And yeah, the canopy's latched and closed. Might have some difficulty trying to open it on my own again, but well, hopefully we'll get a couple of people here next time, and yeah, we'll be able to open and close the canopy a few times and free the runners up. You should really be able to do it on your own early, but yes, that's good news. It's a very little but positive thing for me to finish on today, so that's brilliant. Well, thanks again for watching. Hopefully we'll have some more exciting developments soon. We'll actually start getting really into things. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please click like. If you want to see more, click subscribe. Love to hear any questions or comments in the comments, and we'll see you again. Cheerio, toodle pip.